This is Tom Fox, and I'm going to take a solo turn this week on the Kerrville Weekly News as both Gilbert and Andrew are on assignment. Probably the most prominent story from this week has been the weather. Now, if you're from Texas, you know weather is always a story, but we had a cold weather advisory for Thursday and Friday. We had temperatures down into the teens on Thursday night and Friday night. We had a very cold east wind, which switched to a north wind, so it made it even colder on a wind chill factor. We have freezing rain and other precipitation on Saturday in some parts of the hill country. Although it's slight, that's always very dangerous because of what it does to the roads. However, Sunday will bring a shift in conditions with mostly sunny skies at a high near 67. Yes, that's a 40-degree swing. Lows Sunday will be in the 30s with calm winds up around 5 miles an hour. Next week, well, welcome to Texas, because we're going to have highs in the 70s and 80s and lows only in the 40s and 50s. So crazy Texas weather continues, but it was indeed crazy. Our next story also comes to us from the Lead, which reports that in a historic turn, Kerrville will cancel its May City Council election because there are no contested candidates. The Kerrville City Council will not hold a municipal general election this year, marking the first time since records began in 1955 that an election has been canceled. Now, the Kerrville Independent School District announced it will proceed with its Board of Trustees election on May 3. Over at the City Council, incumbent Place 1 City Council member Delane Sigerman and incumbent Place 2 member Jeff Harris were the only candidates to file for re-election by the February 14 deadline. Both are unopposed. The City Council is going to consider a resolution to cancel the election, and if approved, the City Council will post it the order of cancellation. Early voting for KISD will begin on April 21. In a really interesting interview on the Lead Facebook show, Louis Amstoy had Kerrville Fire Chief Eric Maloney, and he offered a glimpse into the evolving landscape of firefighting and emergency services in the Texas Hill Country. Maloney has 27 years of experience, and his perspective in bridging the past and the present of firefighting highlights the enduring values and modern challenges that shape even our fire department. He said it was his best decision ever to join the fire service, a path that has influenced his entire life, obviously, and the Kerrville Fire Department stands at the forefront of addressing contemporary challenges in emergency services. Most notably, the department has implemented an innovative 48 hours on, 96 hour off schedule to prioritize firefighter well-being. It allows more time with firefighters to have with their families, more time to recover, and most importantly, more time to get some good sleep cycles in. This schedule change reflects the broader awareness of firefighter mental health. In the era when burnout and PTSD are increasingly recognized as critical issues, Maloney says this builds a supportive culture where crew members can openly discuss calls and lean on each other for support. So, as you know, the responsibilities of the Kerrville Fire Department are substantial, handling approximately 11,500 calls annually. So unlike many urban firefighting departments, oftentimes it's 30 minutes to get to the scene because of the size of Kerr County. So this is something that is very innovative and something that is greatly going to enhance the overall efficiency, effectiveness, and mental health of firefighters in the Kerrville Fire Department. As reported in the Kerrville Daily Times, there was a very interesting, and if you're a UT fan, great presentation at the Texas S presentation this year, where Schreiner University celebrated the University of Texas and the state of Texas football legacy. The keynote was Colt McCoy, but there was also Dave Wilson, S.C. Gwynn, and Hal Mumme. Hal Mumme is the person who developed the air raid offense that was used so effectively by Mike Leach at Texas Tech in the first decade of this year, and then he moved on to other places. Mumme introduced the air raid offense literally in Texas at Copperas Cove High School, and then moved up to junior college, and then a small college, and now he's the coach at the San Antonio professional team. It was a fascinating exploration and celebration of Texas high school football, of Mike Leach, of Colt McCoy, and of the air raid offense, and showing how in Texas, innovations in football start at the high school level and move to the pro level. In most states, it goes from the pro level down to the high school level, but innovation in Texas football was a great presentation, and I hope you were able to enjoy it. Thanks so much for listening this week, and we look forward to visiting with you again next week.
This is Tom Fox. I hope you enjoyed this edition of the Kerrville Weekly News Roundup. This podcast is a production of the Texas Hill Country Podcast Network. If you've enjoyed this podcast, I hope you will subscribe, rate, and review this podcast wherever great podcasts are listened to. I hope you'll join Gilbert, Andrew, and myself next week, where we take a look at some of the top stories from Kerrville and the surrounding Hill Country area. Thanks so much for listening.